It's one of the craziest feels. It's one of the most dangerous feels. It's not going to hurt you, but it just feels so wrong, but it's so right. You got to get this shoulder in the ground.
Yeah.
So if you're used to doing this or some combination of no tilt.
That's what it needs to feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And students go crazy when they feel that, but they see it on camera and you're seeing this. Centered.
All right, guys, I want to be your golf coach this season. I know coaching for me completely changed my game. Like before I had coaching, I was lost, I was frustrated. I even quit playing literally a couple times. Compared to when I got with a great coach, after that, I got excited to play again. I started hitting the ball solid. I had answers to my questions. I had solutions that showed up every day in the course. And that taught me a lot. Taught me a lot in my past 15 years of coaching, which is why we built CogornoGolf.com, because I want to give you that same thing. I want to be your golf coach. I know that you're very likely only one swing thought, one swing feel, one drill away from playing the best golf of your life, but you've got to find what that one thing is, and I want to help you do that and implement that so you can play incredible golf right away. Head over to CogornoGolf.com, sign up today. We're going to work together on your game this year. You get all the goodies included with the site, the master classes, live seminars, 24/7 access to the coach, all of the member library, but most important, you're going to get exactly what you need to finally play the golf of your dreams. CogornoGolf.com. Look forward to seeing you there. Hey guys, in today's video, we're going to talk about the left shoulder getting down to the ball for incredible, insanely good contact. We're out here with Mr. Tom Saguto out at the Litchfield Country Club in beautiful Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Mr. Tom, appreciate you having us out here, man.
Eric, great to be out here with fantastic weather, as always.
This is good. This is good. 80 degrees and sunny. If you guys haven't seen Tom's channel before, Tom's videos, awesome YouTube channel. We'll link that, the first link down below. Tom, let's talk in this video, if you would guide us through here. The left shoulder down towards the ball for insanely good contact. What are we talking about?
We're talking about one of the most important pieces of the golf swing. So important that the legend himself, Mr. Arnold Palmer, used this exact swing thought, and he did okay at golf, I think. Would you say he played decent golf?
He did okay, yeah, he did okay.
So Arnold Palmer used to think left shoulder at the ball for great contact. Now, what does this mean for the average golfer out there? It means that we need to get the lead shoulder turning down to find the ground. If you want to hit the ball in the turf with your irons and mash the ball, like you saw in the previous episode, we've got to get the left shoulder down. The whole point here, though, you want to foster a good relationship with your golf ball. Now, this isn't like Dr. Phil or anything, but the whole point is you have to have a relationship to the ball if you want the ball to be your friend. So if I want the ball to be my friend, you have to think about your spine and how it relates to the golf ball. A great way to think about it, you're in karate class. And whether you've done karate before or not, I've never done it. I just watched a bunch of Chuck Norris videos. You've got to create forward bend from your spine. That's the relationship. Hello, ball. You should be able to shake hands with the golf ball. That's the point. If you don't have a relationship, like most golfers I see, they have what I call office posture. You work a desk job. So you see this. The full spread right here. You will never find the ground. You will do the classic top. You'll do the classic hug the club chop. It's just based on the fact that you're not having a relationship with the ball.
Need some therapy.
A lot of therapy.
Couple of therapy
Sometimes
sessions.
you need electroshock to get that into somebody because feeling, whoop,
Yeah.
oh, I can't believe I'm feeling that, you know?
So the relationship, Tom, with the ball, if you take your setup one more time, you know, what we would look at is like maintain your posture, right?
Right.
Or this forward bend you have at setup, or this angle that you have with your body. That presets you a certain distance from the golf ball so you can maintain your good relationship, right? You gotta be close to your partner.
Exactly.
And during your backswing, you wanna be able to keep that distance relatively constant, right? And to be able to do that, you're not gonna do that by having what we normally think about, which is maintain posture, like our old way, right? Would be the chest down version.
Right.
But instead, we wanna do that through the tilting, is that correct?
The tilting, it's a really foreign concept to a lot of golfers because nobody talks about tilt.
Yeah.
It just, we don't hear the term tilt a lot. It's like that four-letter word that's missing in golf. tilt.
It's definitely not mainstream.
No, not mainstream. You hear it in really secret circles in caves, in caves out in a desert somewhere with some golf pros. But the purpose of tilt, I'm talking about spine left.
Yeah.
Like stage left, spine left. So we're going left. Woo! Now, you're probably thinking, Tom, you're going crazy right now. Nobody on TV does this. Well, let me show you something. Like Fire Marshal Bill, let me show you something. So if I keep my head in place and I tilt, from a face-on view, you see this. From 45-degree angle though, look at that. I am tilted, just the same amount as I was here. So it's an illusion in the sense that you need to change your perspective to see the tilt. But everybody tilts. If you want to be good at golf, and you do.
Yeah. And Tom, show us what most people would do, like the bad version.
Right.
The maintain posture, right? The no tilt, what we see all the time.
The no tilt swing looks something like this.
This is the old Saguto.
And even if, old Saguto back in the day, you pull up those war stories from my old swing. Oh, you see you might even start off in a good posture. Like you could have a good relationship, hello ball, but you're doing a bad job of keeping that relationship. You don't have good rapport with the ball. So you see this. Now this is an extreme, but a lot of golfers I've seen raise their head up or do some combination of that.
I see that a lot, Tom.
The one where they're doing like all turning.
Maintain forward bend.
Right.
All the way back.
And then you're wondering why I picked my head up. Well, it's not because you picked your head up. You don't consciously pick your head up. You actually did it because you didn't tilt.
You didn't tilt, yeah, exactly. So let me hop in there, Tom. So if I hop in, right, the thing that we see here, and I think what someone could look at if they're watching on camera, right, or be able to see how to fix this. If I take my normal setup, and let's just say my sternum is a certain distance from the ball. Let's call it 3.5 feet just for making that up.
Right.
When I go back, I want that same sort of dot that I have to be 3.5 feet. Like I want to maintain the distance that I am from that golf ball.
And it's really, you're thinking about tilt. You're thinking about keeping that chest down.
But as you mentioned, like I'm replacing where my chest was with where my shoulder's going to go. Right. And so when I come in, I make my backswing. I want to feel like my shoulder is pointed down towards the ground. And maybe you can demonstrate in here, Tom. If you have someone who comes in who's new, who doesn't tilt, in the beginning phases, they might need to feel like it's just like their left shoulder's kissing ground. Oh. They're going to kiss the ball.
You have to.
They're improving their relationship.
It's one of the craziest feels. It's one of the most dangerous feels. It's not going to hurt you, but it just feels so wrong, but it's so right. You got to get this shoulder in the ground.
Yeah.
So if you're used to doing this or some combination of no tilt.
That's what it needs to feel like.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And students go crazy when they feel that, but they see it on camera and you're seeing this. Centered.
And like you said last time, Tom, it's really, you're feeling that to the degree at which your head just stays in the circle.
You're feeling
in a real swing.
Keeping the head stable.
Yeah.
It really does revolve around a steady head. Your head's telling you all the secrets of your golf swing.
Yeah.
If your head's not staying in the circle, then we might have a problem with tilt or turn.
And so you might, like, Tom, if you take your setup, show me the exaggerated, like, shoulder down. The point I think here is you might need to feel that in your rehearsal and then take your setup again so that when you make your normal swing and still feel that, the head just stays right where it is. I think that's a really key point. And if you could do that one more time, Tom, do the good version. So this angle he has right here, this forward bend, go ahead up. We're just replacing that with the side bend. So that's how he maintains his posture, is through the shoulder tilt. And that's how you can really mash the ball, right? Is with that lead shoulder being down.
And that's where Arnold Palmer's thinking, lead shoulder at the ball.
Lead shoulder at the ball.
And that's really deep, but there's a great picture on the internet somewhere where you can see his back. It's a rear view. You actually see his back.
Yeah.
And that shoulder with a 3-wood, it looks like that.
Yeah.
Crazy depth.
And the best players tilt the most, right? Like The players who have the most difficulty with contact, etc., in some capacity would typically tilt the least. The players who hit the ball the best would tilt the most. And it's all about like maintaining that constant distance from the golf ball. Like I think that's to bring this home into something really simple. Like why does that even matter? Like what difference does it matter? You doing that shoulder down part versus shoulder up quite literally dramatically changes the distance of you versus the golf ball, which your arms are attached to you. Your arms need to hit the golf ball, right, consistently well. And so me changing the distance of my body to the ball would make things more difficult. Me keeping that sort of center and the same distance from the ball would make it easier for me to have the arms, the wrist, etc.
Very repeatable. And it ties in with the first episode we did with the weight forward.
Yeah.
It's all about creating that consistent contact point. So turning the shoulder down or tilting prevents you also from moving off of the ball.
Yeah.
So they're all tying in. It's a recipe for great golf shots.
Multiple functions of it. So if someone wants to practice at home, Tom, from a feel perspective, they're feeling like the left shoulder's going immediately down, essentially.
I'm going left.
And they want to do that to the point where their head stays in the circle, you know, and hopefully if you guys have seen some of our previous videos, we have seen, let me just bring these in, Tom, just in case someone hasn't seen it, as like from a drill perspective.
The best training aids ever.
Tell me if you like this or maybe a different version of it. Let's say they don't have video, right? And they're playing around with it, but they're like, I don't really know. Like, am I doing it right or not? One of the things that I think is super effective from here is to put this alignment rod outside of the golf ball, just slightly behind it, but outside of it. And then the stick is across your shoulders, and you're trying to get this to hit the stick in a real swing, like roughly halfway down in terms of your tilting. But from the exaggeration, like if you're someone who turns too flat or goes out and your shoulder doesn't go at the ball, it goes at the camera, they probably need to feel, Tom, like they're trying to literally get the stick like down, right? Like they're trying to get this stick probably even down like towards almost the bottom of the stick.
Very Arnold Palmer, very left shoulder at the ball, almost identical left shoulder at the ball.
Left shoulder at the ball, keep it simple.
Even though Arnold Palmer wouldn't have been pointing the shoulder perfectly at the ball, it was a feel.
Just feel, yeah.
And it's pronounced feel.
Yeah, I like it. So keeping your distance from the ball, again, keeping the head centered. I think that's pretty good, Tom. Left shoulder down on the way back. Solidness of contact. Is there anything else? I think that's pretty good.
That's a pretty good recipe.
Yeah, that is a good recipe. Tom, thank you. Left shoulder down. Point the left shoulder down at the ball. When you're doing it from face on, feel free to exaggerate it, but keep the head in the circle. You know you've done it too much in a real swing if the head goes forward of it. You haven't done it enough if the head goes behind it. You've done it just right if the head stays in the circle. If you guys like this video, we're gonna put another card on the screen with Tom with our first video we did. We've got Tom's channel down, the first link down below. We'll also put a logo for Cogorno Golf. We'd love to see you there.